So before this video starts, this video has some stuff in it, like some stories, um, some pictures, just about self-harm. And if it's something that you don't like or that's triggering, please don't watch it. I'm telling my stories about my experience with cutting, so other people can relate and I can might help other people and other people don't feel so alone and that kind of thing. This is purely telling my story about it. But if you are triggered by anything about the subject, do not watch this video. Uh, yeah, bye. Hey babes, it's Jamie. Okay then. So, uh, for this video, I'm gonna get a little personal because I want to talk about something that I don't see very often on YouTube, or an area that's kind of serious, kind of, I don't know, hard to talk about, and that is the subject of self-harm. I've seen a lot of people talk about, like, the act of it, what leads up to it, the cause of it, but I haven't seen a lot of people talk about the recovery, what you feel like after it's happened, or the scars. So I thought, since it's something that I deal with, and I feel like I can say some stuff that might be beneficial or help or, I don't know, might make sense. I don't know. I just feel like I can contribute to the subject and I might help maybe some people. So let me backtrack and start with what caused my self-harm. My parents went through a very matter-of-fact shit divorce. It was very messy, it wasn't nice. At that point I was very depressed, I couldn't keep up with school, friends were fighting, a whole bunch of stuff just happened all at once. And I was always that kind of person that if I had friends that self-harmed, I was always that person that was like, don't do that, you're better than that. And I didn't practice what I preached, and I really got messed up about that fact because I always told people, it's like, don't cut, don't do that, like, talk to somebody or, like, do something else, like, whatever you do, don't cut. Like, I was always that guy. And then I found myself doing the exact same thing, and I got really mad at myself after the fact. But I was failing school. I was just really upset with the divorce. I think I recently broke up with my boyfriend at the time. Just everything happened, and for some reason, I don't know what made me be like, hey, you should cut yourself. But that thought got in my head, and I think I'm gonna put a trigger warning in the beginning of this video because I'm going to go into some details, because in order to talk about it, I have to lead up and tell you some details about what happened. Anyways, I'll put a trigger warning because this is gonna get dark. So how I got my razors, the first time, because like I said, it was never a thing in my head. So it's not like I had them just laying around, and in my house we just never had razor blades. I got razors, like the kind you shave with, and my dad had a vise in the basement, and I tore off the head off the razor, and I put it in the vise, and I took out the razor blade. I went through a lot of work just to do this, and it doesn't make any sense now. Like, I went through so much trouble just to get them, you know? And then I did the do, and then I hated myself. I hated myself so much. Because like I said, I was always that person that said, don't do it, and then I did it, and I was a freaking hypocrite. And I did it out of, the first time I ever did it, which, let me just show you my arm right now. You can't really see it really good. There, you can kind of, there we go. You can see it. This first one, right here, that was the first one I ever did. It's actually pretty close to the vein. I'm starting to cry already. the first time I cut, it was out of frustration, I think. One of it, like, I think it was a compilation of blaming myself for the divorce and wanting someone to care about how I was feeling. Which sounds so stinking pathetic at the right now. Like, as I'm thinking about it, it's like, how, like, typically emo and how, like, pathetic does it sound? It's like, I want someone to care about my feelings. But, like, I mean, it's nice to be cared about, you know? So that's the first time. And it's a feeling I've never felt at that point, and still it's very hard to describe. Basically, if you've never cut, or at least when I cut, how I felt was I was finally able to breathe. All of these feelings, all of the stress, all this anxiety, all this hate, all this anger, for some reason, to take it out on myself, or what the act of let me breathe, like it let me breathe. I could breathe again. Like, everything was clear. I had no thoughts in my head. Everything was fine. Like, before I was just, my head was a mess. I was all confused. I was angry. Just so many emotions at once. And then once I did it, I had a clear headspace. I could breathe. Everything was fine. Like, all of a sudden I was happy. And it was very weird. And then the other ones, it was throughout the divorce, and a lot of it was I hated myself, and a lot of the times I did it because I would fight with my mom, and as you know, I've mentioned before that my mom is an alcoholic, which I will make another video talking about her in that situation, I promise. But we would get into fights, and I would hate her. The one thing that my mom always told me is don't hate people. And when I would fight with her, which all parents fight with their kids, so it's normal. But at the time, I was so messed up that when we would fight, I would curse her and hate her and just be so mad. And then, that's not why I would cut. But like, it'd be the morning after, because I felt bad. Because I was like, you shouldn't think that about your mom. Like, you know, there's a problem in this situation. There's an outlier. Or whatever, like, you should never think about that about your mom. You're the piece of crap. You're the one. You deserve everything that's, you deserve everything that's coming to you. And that's what would make me cut. And it's just that guilt that would just consume me. I laugh now because it sounds so ridiculous, but at the time, I'm crying, just slightly. But it's that guilt that just drove me. And I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then I think I counted and I have 20, and that's something like that. I'm not going to count now because there's a lot of faded ones, but a lot of it was just relieving, just pure relieving. And I eventually was like, I'm not going to cut. I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this. And that was after the divorce. I was like, I kind of like cherished my life again, and I was like, you know what, this isn't as bad as I'm making it. Everyone has problems, just deal with it. And that's basically what's gotten me by so far. Also, let me tell you a little backstory. I can't see, let me angle the camera, shall I? I have this little cross. You can't see it, can you? Can you see it? I can't tell. It's right there. It's hard to see. But anyways, a while ago, a long time ago, before I even started cutting, I cut a cross in my arm, which, listen, that was the beginning of it all. At that time, very Christian. I was raised Christian, and at that point I was very Christian. And I think that's when the divorce started, or something like that, or when I first started really having problems. And I was very frustrated. I was like, well, maybe if I do this, God will love me. I don't know. It was just like, let me prove myself that I'm dedicated. Maybe then he'll take care of my problems. Maybe then he'll help me. A lot of things don't make sense when you're depressed. I just now realized that. So I would never, like, that's why there's none on both wrists and only one, because I wouldn't cut on this arm because I was disobeying God or whatever. Like I said, nothing makes sense. But okay, so fast forward to when all the scars have healed and it's all done with. Now I'm going to talk about the aftercare and what it's like to constantly think about it and for it to be a part of your life. Excuse me. My brain's going crazy because I'm remembering everything. So basically, I don't know if I'm cured from cutting. I don't know. Like, it's something, and it's crazy because I've read stuff online about it, and it's one of those things where it's like, once you do it, it's always with you. Like, you may not cut anymore, but like anytime you see a razor, anytime you think of the word cut or anything like that, it will automatically flood back to you. And still to this day, anytime something is really bad or I get really depressed, that thought is still in my head. That's like, well, if I do this, then everything will be okay. Like, I will be able to breathe again. And anytime, like, I don't do it every time I'm upset, because being sad is normal. But like, anytime I feel like myself getting very depressed or something very big happens that I feel guilty for, or I feel like I need to breathe again, that thought comes in my head. I'm just like, I need to do this. I need to breathe again. And it makes no sense at all. But like, that's my head. And it sounds, I'm gonna level, I've stolen like razor blades from work before. Like, in the manager's office. Because I'm like, well, if I ever want to do it again, I have some now. How crazy. The fact that it's still always with me. And like, I've gone like 2 years without ever thinking about it. Like, not wanting to do it, all that kind of stuff. And then like recently I've had a dip in my emotions in my life, so now it's in my head again. And I don't understand why this is a thing. And it just doesn't make sense. But anyways, let me talk about the scars real quick before I start crying a lot thinking about my mind and what headspace it's in right now. So, scars. At least for me, I'm gonna speak for me because I don't know anybody else's feelings towards their scars. But for me, it's a daily reminder. As I've said before, I work at a drive-thru, and this hand is the one that sees everybody. Probably 100 people a day. Handing their money, giving their receipts, hanging out the window in the summertime as I'm talking to them, and it messes with me. And I've had other jobs where my scars are just out and everyone can see them, and I don't know if that's triggering to me. I don't know if that's something that bugs me. I haven't really thought about it, but the fact, I'm more worried about it, them, like the other people being upset about it, because I see families with little kids in the back seat. I see elderly people. I see a lot of people. I have regulars at work, and I have a lot of people that are nice to me, and that thought in my head goes, well, maybe they're just being polite because I have scars. Like, that's a thought that gets in my head. It makes no sense. Like, no, they're just being nice. But in my head, I'm like, well, maybe they're just feeling sorry for me. Even though I don't feel like that right now. Like, it's not like open wounds. It's still like, they know they should be nice because I have that, and I don't know. None of this makes sense. I'm just rambling. But I feel so bad because it's such an awkward position. It's so awkward because they come through, they're like, oh, I'm just here for a freaking cheeseburger. I'm gonna see this stupid little kid, well, not even kid, I'm about to be 20, but I see this person with scars. I feel so bad because I have to put them in that position. And I just feel like crap. And like, I've realized another thing about my scars is anytime I feel upset, I'll rub them. I don't know why that, it's like a tick. It's like an unintentional thing. anytime I'm upset in the slightest, like anytime I feel anxiety or upset, I just rub them. And I don't know. I don't know if that's stopping me from cutting. I don't know what that thing is, but it's my function. It's how I function a lot of the times when I'm upset. I'm just like, oh, this is an awkward situation. Cool. None of this makes sense. I'm just talking because my head, I want to cry so bad, but I don't want to be that person. I want to cry. Because it's rough. It's so rough, and a lot of people, because I love tattoos. I draw them in my free time. I'm going to get a whole bunch eventually once I have money. So a common thing that people do is get a tattoo over them. But to me, a lot of ways, at least how I feel, is that's like pretending it never happened, even though it's right there. Like, and a lot of the times it's a reminder that I didn't just kill myself. That just got very dark. But it's a reminder that, like, while I needed something to help me breathe, I didn't go all the way. Like, everyone needs something to help them. Like, that's just life. People just need things to help them. But completely ending it all is another story. And, I mean, it makes me very happy that I didn't just end it. Because even though I get very depressed and I think about cutting, I've never been so far to be like, I want to die. During the divorce, there was a lot of times where I just be like, if I was out of the situation, if I was out of this equation or whatever, this situation would be a lot better. But as it stands, I don't want to die. Like, I mean, a lot of people don't. I mean, some people do. But, like, it's just a daily reminder that I didn't go all the way. And that I'm stronger than I thought at one time. So, part of me wants to cover them up just for the sake of other people. Part of me just wants to leave them uncovered. Be like, hey, this is my story. I went through this crap, but I survived it. I don't know. It's rough to think about. And I really want to cry really, really bad. Because, I don't know. This isn't something that triggers me or anything. Like, talking about suicide and cutting isn't something that's, like, hard for me to talk about. But it's something very personal. Like, it's something that defines me. Like, it's always going to be part of me. Like I said, anytime I think something bad's going to happen, or something bad that is happening, the instant thought in my head is like, you know, if you cut right now, it might be better for the moment. Oh, I need a moment right now. It's just hard. Because I hate feeling like a coward. I think I'm a very I can't even talk. I think I'm a very strong person. I've been through a lot of crap in my life, and I'm still alive. But anytime depression creeps up on me, or the thought of cutting creeps up on me, or I let stupid shit that doesn't fucking matter get to me, I feel like such a coward. Because everyone has problems. Everyone has shit to deal with. Like, everybody does. Like, it's not just me. Everybody does. And a lot of people probably have it they do have a lot way worse than I do. So my stupid little piddly problems don't matter. But they do. Like, in retrospective, they don't, but they also do. And that makes no sense, but all the sense at the same time. I don't know. It's very weird. Because anytime I feel sad, or anytime I feel depressed, I hate myself. Because I feel like such a freaking coward. And I'm not. Like, depression and that kind of stuff, and just feeling like that is something that you can't help. Being sad's normal. Like, that's perfectly normal. You're allowed to feel sad. But, like, depression is one of those things where you put things in perspective and you're like, well, my problems aren't as big as other people's, so they shouldn't matter. But they do. Like, everyone's problems matter. Whether they're minute or big, because they can lead to something big and bad things can happen. I don't know. I literally don't remember what I'm saying as I'm saying it. I'm literally just rambling. My mind is empty, and I'm just... I've never felt like this before. This is weird. Like, I literally can't remember anything I've said in this video. But it's rough, because I don't know if it's an addiction thing, because if someone... I don't know. Because I still think about it. I do. But will I ever do it again? Probably. Do I want to? No. But I think it'll take some therapy sessions and some depression meds to fix all that. And I don't know. If you are feeling any kind of ways towards your scars, you need to deal with them in a manner that you see fit. If you need to cover them up, then get some temporary tattoos from one of those machines at stores and cover them up. If you think you're proud of them, not proud, but like if they stand for something, keep them. If you still feel like you are on that edge where you might cut again, you need to talk to somebody. You can't just, like, you don't do what I'm doing in my life. Like, don't do what I'm doing. Don't feel pathetic because you have problems. While it just don't, because it's stupid. Like, talk to somebody. Like, I don't have many people in my life that give a crap, but I have a couple. And if not, I'll talk to myself. Talking to yourself is very valuable when you feel like the way that I feel. But yeah, I don't know. This was all rambling, and this is no cognitive matters. I just hope somebody relates. I have no advice. I'm not a freaking professional. All I know is if you feel like you have the potential to cut again, don't. Because I feel it. Like I said, anytime anything goes wrong, like seriously goes wrong, that is always in my head, and I always want to. And I've slipped off the boat before. But in the long run, it doesn't help anything. And then you're still left with the scars that are a constant reminder of your whatever happened to you, whether you feel good about that or bad about that, you still have those scars. And there's so many variables with those scars. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what your scars mean to you, but if you don't want more of them, don't. It's not worth it. In the long run, it doesn't help anything. Like, depression, it's something you can't handle. It's something you can't help. It's not something that's out of the ordinary or anything. It's normal, like, people have it, but it doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It's not something that you should be like, oh, I don't matter, or like, my problems aren't as big. The problems still matter. They do. And you need to talk to somebody. The depression is something that's way beyond your control, my control, everybody's control. Unless we get help. So don't take your problems less than what you think they are. Because they're big. Oh. This was rough. This was a lot rougher than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, I just hope someone can relate. None of this video probably made sense with the crap. But I hope somebody can relate and know that they're not alone with it. Because you're not. I'm going to stop rambling because this video is going on way too long. Like I said, if I'll put my social medias down in the bio. If you need someone to talk to, I'm there. If you have no one, I'm there. Because I fucking get it. And just don't cut. Like, just don't do it. Just don't. It sounds so cookie cutter, but just don't. And figure out what your scars mean to you. Because it could be helping your problem, or it could be making your problem a lot worse. So that's my final words. I'm gonna go now, and I'm gonna go think. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that I'm a mess. But this is a video I wanted to make because it's something I actually have knowledge about, and it's something I can talk about, and yeah. My social medias, like I said, are going to be down there. If you like this video, like it. If not, okay. Subscribe. That would be great. And, yeah. Bye. Did I say thank you for watching? Thank you for watching.